Hi, in this today's session, we will see the electric dipole in more detail. Now, when you have two equal and opposite charges separated by a very small distance, say 2a, we call such a charge configuration as the electric dipole. And here, the line that is joining the center of the positive charge and the negative charge is considered to be as the dipole axis. And the midpoint of this dipole axis is considered to be the center of the electric dipole. Here the direction of this dipole is again considered to be going from negative charge towards the positive charge. And here, to measure the strength of this electric dipole, we have a dipole moment, whose magnitude is equal to the charge times any of the charge into the distance of separation between these two opposite charges. And the direction of this dipole moment is again along the direction of the dipole axis, that is from negative charge towards the positive charge. And the relation will look something like this. Vector P is the symbol that I am using for a dipole moment, is equal to Q times the vector 2a, which is the distance of separation. Now here, a point to make a note is that the direction of this dipole, I am drawing it from negative towards the positive charge. So these are not my field lines. In fact, if I want to show the electric field lines of this electric dipole, it will look something like this. While drawing the field lines, you see that you are showing the field lines coming from this positive charge and they will end on the negative charge. But for the dipole moment, the direction is exactly opposite, that is from the negative charge it is facing towards the positive charge. Now the reason behind this direction of this dipole is that when you will be placing this electric dipole in an external electric field, say suppose you are having an electric field in something like this vertically up, and if you place the electric dipole something like this, here what will happen is that this electric dipole is going to experience some torque on it and it will get aligned with the direction of the electric field. So here, if you see the direction of the electric field and the dipole, they are almost same. They run parallel. All right. So that's the reason why we are choosing the direction of this dipole going from negative towards the positive charge. Now here, if I want to know the SI units, say of this dipole, electric dipole, the charge Q is measured in terms of your coulombs and the distance of separation is in meters. So the SI unit of the dipole moment is coulomb meter. Now here again, if you consider one case wherein say the distance of separation between these 2 point charges is very, very small, and let's say the charge is very large, in that case I can just make a use of a limit saying that the distance of separation 2a vector is going to 0, and the charge I can consider will go to infinite. In this case, what happens, the product of this charge into the distance of separation will give me a finite quantity. So here the vector P is again going to be a finite value. So what I'm trying to say is that even if you have a distance very, very less, distance of separation, in that case also you will be getting the dipole moment to be a finite quantity. And such a case, such type of cases, we call the electric dipole to be as a ideal or a point dipole. So that is about your electric dipole. Now here what we again know is that any charged body will produce an electric field in the space surrounding that charge. Now here, if you just see the electric dipole, okay, the total charge of this electric dipole is 0, which is plus q minus q, that will give me E equal to 0. So now the question comes about the electric field. What is the electric field for this electric dipole? Is it 0? Now if you see this electric dipole carefully, okay, both the charges are separated by some distance. So which means is that if you just try to add the electric field of both the charges, you know, they will not get exactly cancel out. Okay, so there will be some field in the space surrounding both the charges, while the electric field, you know, will get fall, okay, as you move away from this electric dipole. And here if I again want to show the electric field, you know, I can make a use of the field lines and it will look something like this. Now here our task is to calculate the electric field at different points in the space surrounding the electric dipole. So let's try to calculate, you know, at the point on the dipole axis. Now let's take an electric dipole. So here let this be a positive charge and a negative charge, and here let this be the dipole axis. Okay, so here this is my dipole axis. I can say this is the dipole axis, and a dipole moment, okay, let me show it with the red, and this is the dipole moment whose direction is from negative towards a positive charge. So let this be a dipole moment, vector p. And here the distance of separation that we know is, let this be the 2a. So the distance of separation, this is my vector 2a. So distance between a positive and a negative charge. Now here we are interested in measuring the electric field at a point on the dipole axis. So here let me extend this dipole axis over here. So I'll be extending this. So this is the dipole axis. All right, I have just extended it. Now here let me choose a point on this dipole axis. So I'll be considering a point over here where I'm interested in measuring the electric field. So let this be the point. So this is the point P where I'm interested in measuring the electric field. So let me say this point to be as a point O, or let's say a small p. Now here if you see this, okay, first what we are interested in measuring the electric field due to individual charges, and then we can get the resultant of this electric field. Now let me consider this negative charge. All right, so here the electric field that will be produced at this point P by this negative charge, okay, is given to be as, I can say that the electric field at due to this negative charge is equal to, I can say it's a 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into the charge, magnitude of this charge, q, by the square of the distance at which you are going to measure. So let me call this point P, okay, is at a distance of r from the center. So here let me call this point P as is at a distance of say r. Let me show this. So this is at a distance of r from the center. So this is the center. So let this be the distance r. All right. Now here if you just measure the distance of separation, okay, at this point P and this minus q is nothing but r plus a square, correct? So this is the distance from point P to center 0, And from the center of this dipole 0 to this negative charge, we have a distance of a, because from plus q to minus q, it's a 2 vector a, correct? So in that case, this will be r plus a d square. So that's the distance. And here, if you see, the direction of this electric field will be pointing inward, right? So this is a negative charge. The field line should be drawn pointing inward, and I can show it like this. So this is the electric field of a negative charge, which will be pointing inward. And now here, if I just want to show the direction of this electric field, I'll be showing with respect to this dipole moment. The dipole moment is from negative towards the positive side, and this electric field is exactly opposite if you see the direction of this dipole moment. So let me make a use of a unit vector of this dipole moment. So with respect to this, if I just show this is my p cap, I can write it p cap, and here what we know is that this unit vector of the dipole moment is exactly opposite to the unit vector of this electric field, which is produced by the negative charge. So in this case, I can just write this as my p cap, and since this is exactly opposite to the electric field, I can make a use of a negative sign. All right, I am just writing the direction of the electric field with respect to this dipole moment. So we have got the electric field due to the negative charge. In the same way, if I want to know the electric field at the point P due to this positive charge, so let me write this is due to the positive charge. Okay, again it will be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into the magnitude of the charge divided by the distance. Now here, if you just see the distance between this point P and the positive charge, okay, it is nothing but r minus a, right? So r is a distance from this point P to the exact at the center O, right? And I'm interested in measuring this much distance, so which will be r minus a. Okay, so that is a distance. So here, if you just see, this is the center, okay, from here to here, this will give me a, and this is a distance of a. So I'll just minus r minus a, that will give me r minus a square. And here the direction of this electric field, okay, it will be positive charge, so it's pointing outward. So that's the electric field due to the positive charge. And here, if I just want to show the direction of the electric field with respect to dipole moment is from negative charge towards the positive charge, and even this is moving towards the left. So I can just write the unit vector of the dipole moment to be the p cap, and both are in the same direction, so it will be a positive. Now, to calculate the resultant electric field due to both these charges, what I have to do is adding of this both the electric field. All right, so here when I add to get the resultant, I'll say to get the resultant field, to get the resultant electric field, I'll just add the vector E. To get this field, I have to add the vector E due to the positive charge plus the electric field due to the negative charge. And when I add this, okay, what I get is vector E is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught is q upon r minus a the square into the p cap, and here this is my, it will come with negative into 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r plus a square into the p cap. So that's the equation I have got, and from here I can take out this common term out. So what I'll get is the electric field E, vector E will be equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into, okay, so q upon r minus again here I can just take the Q also, it's a common out, and here I can say it will be 1 upon R minus A square minus 1 upon R plus A square into the P cap. That's the unit vector of your dipole moment. Now we need to solve this, okay, inside this bracket. So I can just cross multiply this, and let me do this. So here you will be getting Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught, and here that will give me R plus A square minus R minus A square divided by R minus A square into R plus A the whole square into the P cap. So here this is A plus B square, you can open up this, okay, so that will give me Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught, and when I open up this, so that will give me is R square plus 2 times the RA plus A square, and here it will be minus into R square minus 2 times the RA plus A square. So that's in the bracket, and here in the denominator you will be getting the same thing. Here again you can say it will be R square minus 2 times the RA plus A square into R square plus 2 times the RA plus A square, and here you will be getting this is a P cap. Now if you see this expression, okay, again I can write this as Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught, and here the R square, and this is when I open it up, minus into plus, that will get cancelled. Same way the A square, you know, will get cancelled with minus into plus, that will give me a minus, so it will get cancelled. So only term that will be left in the numerator will be 2RA, minus into minus, this becomes plus, so the overall it will be a 4RA, so in the numerator. So I can write this is my 4RA in the numerator. Now here again I can open up this, okay, in the denominator, R square into R square, you know, that will give me the R raised to 4, again R square, that will give me 2R cube of A, again I just R square into A square, so that's 1. Again if I just multiply this, minus 2 R cube into A, it will be a minus into plus, minus 4 R square A square, and here you will be getting minus 2 R A cube. So that's the second term, I am multiplying with this. In the same way you can multiply this, you will be getting A square R square plus 2 times the R A cube and plus A to the power 4 into P cap. So that's the expression you will be getting, such a big expression. Now here if you see the common terms, you know, here plus 2 R cube A will get cancelled with this minus 2 R cube of A, and I am having a 2 R A cube, you know, will get cancelled. If you see this is 2 R cube of A will get cancelled with this yes, A cube, this is a 2R A cube will get cancelled with this minus 2R A cube, and here what you are left with is this expression. I can write it as the Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught, okay. Here in the numerator you will be getting 4RA, in the denominator you will be getting R raised to 4, all right, and this term minus 4 r square a square. I can write this as my, so here r square a square minus 4 r square a square, and here again plus a square r square and a raised to 4, and this is closing into p cap. So that's the equation you will be getting. So here again, if you see this r square and a square, okay, is, I can just add this a square r square, that will give me a 2a square r square, and that if I subtract with this term, okay, minus 4 times r square a square, so that will give me again the expression as q upon 4 pi epsilon naught into 4 times the RA divided by r raised to 4, and it will give me 2 r square a square plus a to the power 4 into close, and that again a p cap. So here if you see this, I can just write this as a q upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, so let me just take this 4r square, write it here. So yeah, so 4RA, and here it's nothing but r raised to 4 minus 2r square a square plus a raised to 4. So which I can write it in this form, right? So here this is becomes r square minus 2 times the RA, all right? So which I can write it directly. I'll just show. I can just say that it becomes r square minus a square to the whole square. So that's the answer. So that's the answer, and this is the p cap that I can write it. So here what I have got is the electric field, okay, and again, okay, so this is the equation that you need to put it in a box. Put it in a box. So let me highlight this. This is a vector E. So this is the equation for to calculate the electric field at any point on this dipole axis. Okay. So here again, if I just consider the distance of separation to be very, very small, I can just say that if A is very, very small, say if A is very, very small, if you compare it with this distance at which you are going to measure the electric field, in that case I can just neglect this a square, okay, and I can rewrite the same equation. In that case the electric field vector E will be equal to q upon 4 pi epsilon naught into 4 times, okay, RA, 4 times the RA divided by, it will be just r square, this square, I am just neglecting this a square, so r square the whole square, that will give me the r raised to 4, r raised to 4. And here I just, let me show, it will look r square the whole square, and that will give me the r raised to 4. So I'll just rewrite this. It will be r raised to 4, and here again this r and r, 1 r will get cancelled. So here what you are left with is q upon 4 pi epsilon naught into, I'll just write this 4 over here, 4 times the qa into the r cube into the p cap over here, p cap. So that's the electric field. If you just consider the case wherein the distance of separation is very, very small, so this is the equation that I can rewrite. Now here again the same expression I can again modify. You know, if I just want to write this numerator part in the dipole moment, you know what I know, the dipole moment, I can say that dipole moment is vector p is equal to q into the 2a, the magnitude of that. Correct? So here in this case q into 2a, but in the question here we are having 4 into qa, which I can break it into 2 into 2qa. So the electric field here, I can write it as a 2 into p divided by the 4 pi epsilon naught, 4 pi epsilon naught into the r cube along the p cap. So that's, again, I can modify the expression. So these are the three equations that you can write it. So here, okay, if you see this, the electric field over here, okay, the direction of this electric field is along the direction of the dipole moment of this over here, which I can clearly say it's coming to be a positive. So the electric field, the direction of the electric field, the net electric field due to this both the charges, you know, here you see these are the electric field due to this individual charges. So this is the field direction due to this negative charge. It is positive charge in this side. But when you see the net direction, okay, of this electric field due to both the charges, it will be along the direction of this dipole moment. So from this expression, I can say it's along the p cap. And here one interesting thing to note is that for an electric dipole, you know, the electric field, if you see this electric field E, vector E, is inversely proportional to the r cube. So that is happening. The magnitude, if you just see the electric field, is 1 over r cube. But if you compare this with the point charge, you know, the electric field for a point charge is 1 over r square, and here in this case it's the 1 over r cube. So that's the point to make a note. For an electric dipole, you will see it's a 1 over r cube, okay, inversely varies, but for a point charge it will be 1 over r square. Now we have calculated the electric field at any point, okay, on this axial, this dipole axis. Now let's try to calculate, you know, the electric field at a point on the equatorial plane, okay, of this dipole axis exactly at the center. Now here again I'm having an electric dipole, and this time we are interested in measuring the electric field at a point on the equatorial plane of this electric dipole. So let me show an equatorial line over here. A equatorial line is just a perpendicular line, okay, to this dipole axis, and that will be a passing exactly through the center. So let me draw an equatorial line over here. So let this be the equatorial line, and let me choose a point P on this equatorial line. So let the point P be over here at a distance of, say, r from this center O. So let this be a distance r. Now this is the center, okay, over here. Now again, to get the net electric field at this point P, okay, we need to calculate the individual electric field contributed by these charges and then add them up. So let me find the electric field due to this negative charge. So here I can say that the electric field due to the negative charge is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into the magnitude of the charge divided by the distance at which you are going to measure. Now this is the distance of separation between the positive and the negative charge. So from here to here, from the exactly center of this dipole to this negative charge, I'll be having a distance of, say, A. And here I'm interested in measuring the electric field at this distance. So this is a distance that where I'm interested in measuring the strength of the electric field. So I need to calculate the hypotenuse side of this right angle triangle. And how we can calculate it? If you have a one side adjacent A, R, and the hypotenuse, so the hypotenuse I can get it as, you know, hypotenuse square, that is h square will be equal to r square plus a square. And I'm interested in the hypotenuse, so I can take the square root on the right hand side. So that will give me a the side of this over here I'll be getting is at square root, you know, I can just write this as a square root of, you know, r square plus a square. So that's the distance I'm going to get. So let me substitute this over here. So when I substitute that, Okay, so here it will be r square plus a square, all right, into square root. So I can just write it as 1 over half. And what we know is that electric field contributed by this single point charge is 1 over r square. So in that case, I need to write a square over here, correct? So it will become a square, and this square and square by 2 will get cancelled, and what I'll be getting is the electric field over here to be is this. All right, so r square plus a square, and that will be this. So the square will get cancelled with the square root over here. So I have got the electric field. Now here, how to get the direction for your electric field? So the direction of this electric field will be pointing towards this negative charge. So I can show the direction of this electric field over here to be like this. So that's the electric field, you know, this due to the negative charge, all right, which will be pointing inward. Yes, so this is the direction. So I'll be writing this unit vector over here after some time. Okay, so let me keep it as in the magnitude form. So that's the magnitude that I am getting from this point charge. In the same way, I can get the magnitude of the electric field due to the charge, positive charge, so plus q, which will be again 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into the magnitude of this charge, and again the distance from here to here, okay, it will be the same, all right. So the distance, again, if you just calculate, it will be the same. So I can just write it is r square plus a square. In fact, the hypotenuse that you are getting is square root. So that square root will get cancelled. You know, if you see, let me show it here. Electric field is inversely proportional to the 1 over r square. So this is r square, and when you substitute this, okay, over here, 1 upon square root of r square plus a square, the whole square. So that will give me 1 over r square plus a square. So this is how I am getting this. So the square root will get cancelled with this square. All right, so I have got this, the magnitude part I have got, and here the direction of this electric field will be pointing outward. So I can show it like this. So this is the direction of the electric field due to the positive charge. Now here, if you see this, okay, this is if you look at the symmetry, let me call the angle over here, let this be the theta. Yes, yeah. So here, if this is a right angle triangle, both are this thing, then in that case the angle between this vector E plus Q and vector E, electric field due to the negative charge, the angle between them will be 120 degree, right? So this is the equilateral triangle if you see the symmetry, and here in this case, you know, the angle between this, what I'll be getting is 120 degree. So that's the angle. Now I see a one vector going in this direction, other vector is coming downward. So here I'm interested in the net electric field due to this both the charges. So what here I can do is to get the net electric field, okay, I can just resolve this vectors into two components. Say suppose if you are having a one vector E plus Q and electric field due to the negative charge. Here what I can do is that I can resolve this vector E due to the positive charge into two components. Okay, so I can just show it one going in the horizontal and one in the vertical direction. And here if you just see the theta over here, you know, I'm interested in the two components. So if I'm interested in the horizontal component, in that case I can make a use of a cos theta formula, which is nothing but adjacent upon hypotenuse, and this is the adjacent side, horizontal side of it. So the hypotenuse is nothing but the magnitude of this electric field vector E. So the adjacent side that I'll be getting is E Q due to the positive charge into the cos theta. So that's the horizontal component that I'll be getting. Well, the vertical component, you know, if you see the geometry of this over here, the angle that over here theta will be equal to that angle as well. So the opposite angle I'm getting, and from that opposite angle, I'm interested in the opposite phase of that. So here I can make a use of a sine theta, and sine theta is nothing but opposite upon the hypotenuse. So this is a side of opposite. So I can just write the vertical component to be as E into cos theta. So that's how I can resolve the vector E due to the positive charge. In the same way, I can also resolve the vector E due to the negative charge into a horizontal and the vertical component. So here again I'm having a theta over there, so I'm interested in the adjacent side. So once again I'll be getting E magnitude of that vector, that is E due to the negative charge, and the cos theta, so that will be the horizontal component. And again the opposite angle I can consider and get out the vertical over here, vertical side, which will be E minus Q due to the negative charge into the sine theta. Now here if you see the overall, there is a one vector. When you resolve this component, one is going up, one is going down. So both the over here component will get cancelled with each other. So here the vertical component get cancelled with each other, and what is left in the horizontal direction. So here both the vectors are in the same direction, so I can easily add them up. So if you see the direction of this net electric field is towards the right. So the same thing, I can just apply it over here. This is that my electric field due to the positive charge, electric field due to the negative charge, and the net, if you see there, after resolving the components, you will be getting the net electric field, will be pointing in this direction. So that is the net electric field is in this direction. So this is my vector E over here. Or the other way of writing the same, getting the same net electric field is making a use of a law of parallelogram. So here what you do, you just shift this, parallel shifting, so that will give you a dotted line like this. So that's the other technique, and even same way you can shift it over here. So you form a parallelogram and you just draw a resultant vector from the tail of this vector to the head of the other vector. So that will give you the direction of this electric field. Alright, so this is the direction, the net direction of the electric field. Now here, if you see, we are interested in the magnitude of this. Alright, so the resultant, to get the resultant, to get this electric field, say vector E, the resultant electric field, what I have to just do is the addition, of these two vectors, correct? Vector due to the positive charge plus vector due to the negative charge. All right. Now here we have seen the how to add the two vectors. So from that relation, I can just see that E plus Q, what is the left component with us, is the horizontal component, correct? So from there I can just write it has magnitude of this plus Q into the cos theta, which is along the horizontal component. In the same way for this as well, the magnitude of this electric field due to the negative charge into the cos theta, all right? And if you just see the direction, I said it is pointing towards the right. Now if you want to write the direction of the electric field with respect to this dipole moment is towards the left, from negative charge towards the positive charge, and the electric field is pointing towards the right. So which is exactly opposite to each other. So I can make a use of a unit vector p cap, and here I can just write to be of a negative. So the net electric field that you will be getting is opposite to the dipole moment over here. All right. Now here I can just add this. If you see this, I can just write minus, E due to the positive minus Q, and I can just take this cos theta out, and that will give me a P cap. All right. Now here, if you see this expression 1 and an expression 2, the magnitude are same. So here I see that the electric field due to the positive charge. So here this is the electric field. So electric field due to the positive charge is equal to the electric field that is produced by the negative charge from the symmetry. So here I can say it will be a minus 2 times. So let me take any one of the magnitude. It will be a twice this into cos theta along the P cap. So that's the electric field I'm getting. All right. Now let me substitute this magnitude over here. So what I'll get is minus 2 into, it is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Q upon R square plus A square. Correct? So that is what I am getting. And here, how to get this cos theta? So if you see this is the angle theta over here. Yes, cos theta is nothing but adjacent side upon the hypotenuse side. So what is the hypotenuse side? Hypotenuse side is nothing but R square plus A square. Yes, and adjacent side is your A. So I can just write this as the cos theta over here will be equal to adjacent upon the hypotenuse side, that is R square plus A square raised to the square root into P cap. So that will be the unit vector, that's the direction. All right. So here again I can just add this. If you just multiply this, the powers will add up. So here I can write vector E is equal to minus 2 Q into A divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into, if you see the power, here there's a power of 1 and this is half. When you add this, you will be getting the power of this R square plus A square. It will become 3 by 2 along the P cap. So that's the equation you will be getting. So here, this is the expression, to calculate the electric field at a point P on the equatorial line. At any point on this equatorial line, you can get it. Now here again, if you just consider that the distance of separation, if you say that A, if I just say if A is very, very less than the R over here, okay, in that case, I can rewrite this expression, vector E is equal to minus 2 QA divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into R square raised to 3 by 2 into along the P cap. Okay, I can just neglect this sign. So here again, if you see this, I can just cancel out this 2 and 2, all right, from here, and I can just rewrite this expression. The electric field will be equal to minus 2Q into A divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into R cube, and this is the P cap. So that's the other way of writing the same electric field if you consider the distance of separation is very, very less than R. And here again, if you want to write the same expression in terms of dipole moment, I can just replace this 2QA as your dipole moment. So again, I can rewrite this as electric field, okay, is going to be of minus into the magnitude of your dipole moment divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into the R cube along the P cap. So that's the expression for the electric field in terms of dipole moment. So these are the equations that you need to know. So here this is the dipole moment. Okay, so let me represent it with capital P. So this is a dipole moment. Now one thing again to note is that the electric field over here is E is inversely proportional to the 1 over R cube. Yes, and an important note to make a note is that if you see the net electric field, the direction of this electric field is exactly anti-parallel, to the direction of this dipole moment. All right, the dipole moment is from negative to positive. This is in from towards the right. So the negative sign, what you see over here, tells you that the direction of this electric field is exactly opposite to the dipole moment. So that's the point you need to know. Now, if you see the magnitude of the electric field, okay, at a point on the dipole axis and at a point on the equatorial line of the dipole axis, we have these equations to calculate. So here, if you just compare this equation, what I can say is that the electric field that is produced at the point on the dipole axis is exactly twice, the electric field that is produced at the same distance from the dipole axis, that is at the point on the equatorial line. So here I can write it as, the E axial is equal to twice the E equatorial. So that's the relation between these two equations. Now here, suppose if you are interested in measuring the strength of the electric field at any point R in that space surrounding the electric dipole, in such cases, the angle between the dipole moment and the position vector is very important. Okay, so here what you can do, you can just resolve the dipole moment, the one component of the dipole moment along the position vector and the other perpendicular to that position vector. So in that case, the theta becomes very important. So that's all from the comparison part of this. Now let's try to see what happens if I just place this electric dipole in an external electric field. Now suppose you have a uniform external electric field, something like this, and if you place an electric dipole in this electric field in such a way that the dipole moment is forming an angle theta with the electric field lines. So here what happens is that the charges of this dipole will going to experience some force on it. So here this is the positive charge, and the force that this charge is going to experience will be in the upward direction, that the direction of the force is same as the direction of the electric field. Well, for the negative charge, the force over here will be downward, which is exactly opposite to the direction of the field lines. So that's the direction. Now here, if you see the net force, okay, on the charge Q and minus Q, will be exactly, or the net force on this electric dipole, is exactly 0, because one is pointing upward and the other one is pointing downward. So the net force, if you just calculate, it will be a 0. But here, both the charges are separated by some distance. So the force acts on all the points of this dipole. So here the torque will come into the picture, and what we know is that torque acting, here the torque is going to act on the dipole, and to calculate the torque, the magnitude of the torque, so let me say torque, which we represent it using this symbol, is nothing but the magnitude of any one of the force into the perpendicular distance between two anti-parallel forces. So that's the definition to calculate the torque. So which I can write it as the torque that will be acting on the electric dipole will be equal to force, any one of the force, that is Q into E. And here we are interested in the perpendicular distance between these two anti-parallel forces. All right. So the perpendicular distance between them is this distance. So if I just draw a line over here from here to here, and I can complete this, by drawing a line over here vertical, that will give me a triangle. So here I'm interested in measuring this distance. Now if you see the geometry over here, there is an angle forming between this, that is vector P and vector E, That's a theta angle over here. And from looking at this geometry, I can say that this theta is exactly equal to the angle that is forming over here, correct? So if this is the theta, in that case I can easily get the opposite side of this triangle, where I can use a equation of sine theta is equal to opposite upon a hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse side is nothing but the distance of separation, which is my into 2a, that's a hypotenuse side, into the sine theta. So that's the relation I have got. So which I can rewrite it as q into 2a into the electric field into the sine theta, correct? And what I know is that the product of this q into 2a gives me a dipole moment. So the tau over here is nothing but the dipole moment into E sine theta. Now here this is in the magnitude form, but here the torque is a vector quantity. So here if you want to know the direction of the torque, okay, it's just exactly perpendicular to this dipole moment and the electric field. So the direction, if you want to show, it will be pointing outward. This is a direction, the term gives you the direction of the torque. So if you just place it your hand over here, and if you just curl your finger, so that is a P cross of E, and this is the tau. So here I can just write the torque over here. This is the magnitude, and if I just want to write it in the vector form, I can just write this as a vector tau, okay, will be equal to, I can just say it is a vector P cross vector E. So that's the relation. So this is in the magnitude form, all right. So that is what, this is the vector form of that. So which is exactly perpendicular to these two vectors. Now here what happens once the torque come into the picture, what will happen to this electric dipole is that it will get aligned with the electric field, and it will look something like this. Now here the torque, okay, here is making this alignment something like this. So here if you see the angle between this vector P and vector E is exactly 0. So when this happens, the torque on this electric dipole will be a 0, all right. So even if you just see this relation, the tau, I can say that from this relation, if I just use, I can just say if tau, if the theta, I can say if theta is equal to 0, in that case the torque will be also equal to 0. Sine theta will give me a 0 and the torque will be a 0. Where the tau over here, the torque will be a maximum when the theta is equal to 90 degree, the torque will be a maximum which is equal to P dot E. So that's the value over here. All right. So that is the torque that you are going to see if you just place this dipole exactly forming a 90 degree. In that case, the torque that this electric dipole will experience will be a maximum. And once it gets aligned with the electric field, then the tau will be equal to 0. So that's the relation. Now here, if I just say that the sine theta is 90 degree, okay, and here if what I'm getting is P dot E, and here if I just say that E is equal to 1 unit, okay, so let me say that here E, so I'm getting tau is equal to P dot E, and if I just say that if E is equal to 1 unit, in that case what I'll get is the torque will be equal to the dipole moment. So that's the equation. So now from this relation, what I can define is this, what is the dipole moment over here. So I can say that a dipole moment may be defined as the torque acting on this electric dipole, okay, which is placed exactly perpendicular to the electric field of a uniform electric field whose strength is equal to 1 unit. So that is how I can define what this dipole moment is. So now let's see what happens to this electric dipole when we place it in the non-uniform electric field. Now, if you have a non-uniform external electric field, something like this. Now here, if you see the field lines, they are not equally spaced. So that's the sign of a non-uniform electric field. And here, if you want to know the magnitude of the electric field at any point in this space, one can easily say that looking at the field lines that the electric field, the strength of the electric field is maximum at point C, then at the point B, and then at the point A, which I can write it as, something like this. So here, okay, if you see the strength of the electric field is increasing towards right. So here what I do, not to make the things more complicated, I'll be just replacing these electric field lines with one single, electric field line. Okay, so here I just draw an equivalent field lines, which is a straight line like this, and the arrow shows the direction of the electric field. And I just put a one statement saying that the strength of the electric field is increasing towards the right. So this is a direction of increasing electric field, and let me put it over here. So now this is the field, okay, we are having. Okay, let me take out this field lines from here. But this is the actual field that is available in this space. Now, I'm just using this arrow to show the strength of the electric field. So let us bring a electric dipole into this non-uniform electric field. And here, if I just place this electric dipole over here, something like this. Now, let's consider only two cases. Okay, what we know is that the torque. Okay, let's consider only two cases. When the first case, I'll say that the dipole moment is parallel, okay, is parallel to the external electric field, and a second case in which the dipole moment will be a anti-parallel. So the anti-parallel, that will be the second case. Vector P is anti-parallel to vector E. So here I see that the dipole moment is exactly parallel to the external electric field. So in this case, the theta will be equal to 0, because what we know is that vector tau is equal to P into E sine theta, and I just consider the theta over here to be 0. So when the theta is equal to 0, that means the tau will be equal to 0. So the torque acting on the electric dipole becomes 0. So that's the case. But here, what about the net electric force on this dipole moment? So here you have a positive charge over here and a negative charge. Both the charges is going to experience some force on it. So this is a positive charge, so it will experience a force in the same direction as of the electric field. And this negative charge will going to experience a force in the opposite direction of the electric field. Now the field over here, I said it's a non-uniform electric field. So the strength of the field is higher towards the right side compared to the left. So that means the charge small q will experience a maximum force on it compared to the negative charge. So overall, if you see the net force here, both the forces are not same, okay, because we are having a non-uniform electric field. So this is the maximum force. So the total force on this electric dipole for such an alignment will be towards, in the same direction as of the electric field. So that is the one statement I can make. So that's the force, the net force is along the same direction as of the electric field. So I can say that the net force is along same direction of increasing electric field. So that's it. Now here, suppose if I just make this dipole moment exactly 180 degree, with this electric field, okay, or else the anti-parallel. In that case, what I'll get, again, if you just consider theta is equal to 0, tau will be equal to 0. Now the question of, the net force on this electric dipole. So here, this is my positive charge, okay, so it will going to experience a force in the direction of the electric field, which will be pointing towards the right, while the negative charge Q will experience a force towards the left. And if you see the net force, this will be dominating force, all right, because the strength is higher. So I can say that the net force over in this second case, the net force is along the decreasing the direction along the direction of decreasing electric field. Okay, so this is the direction of the decreasing electric field, so it will be along that. So these are the few points that you need to note, okay, when you are placing at such an angle. So theta is equal to 0, and theta here it is equal to 180 degree, not 0. So here, to end up this session, let me again go back to the same problem of when you rub a comb with your hair, and if you bring it closer to a piece of paper, okay, what happens is that when you rub a comb, it acquires a negative charge, and when you take it closer to a piece of paper, it is going to polarize the piece of paper. Polarization in the sense, it is going to separate, it is going to induce a dipole moment in that small piece of paper. And here the dipole moment is in the same direction as of the increasing electric field. If you see this negative comb, okay, and if you just try to show the electric field lines due to this charged comb, it will be something like this. So here again, this is your non-uniform electric field, but the paper gets attracted towards the in the direction of the increasing electric field. So that's the reason why the paper gets attracted towards the charged negatively charged comb. Now here in this question, you are given two equal and opposite charges of 10 microcoulomb, which are placed at a distance of 5 mm. And here we are told to calculate the electric field at a point P on the axial line of the dipole at a distance of 15 centimeter from the center of this dipole. So here the distance from this center, okay, is to this point P is 15 centimeters. Now here let me use the same technique. Let me first try to calculate the electric field due to this charge positive at this point P, and then due to the negative charge, and then let me add up. So here if I calculate the electric field, say the electric field due to the positive charge is nothing but 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, correct? So here let me write the general formula first. Electric field is nothing but 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into q upon the square of the distance. So that's the equation. Now here 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught is the value of the k. If you know it, I can write the approximate value of that 9 into 10 to the power 9, correct, into the magnitude of this, that is 10 microcoulomb into 10 raised to minus 6 divided by the distance at which you are going to measure. So here if you see this is given in 5 mm, and I'm interested in measuring the electric field from this charge, positive charge. So I want to calculate a distance from point B to the point P. Yes, so what I have to do, I have to subtract this 15 centimeters minus the distance from the center to the point B. Now this is in the 5 mm, so the 5 mm means this is equal to 0.5 centimeter, correct? And this is a distance from negative charge towards the positive charge. So that means from center O to B, it will be a 0.25 centimeters. So if I just write this 15 centimeters minus this, that will give me this length. So here I just write it as 15 minus 0.25 centimeters and into 10 to the power minus 2, because I need to convert it into a meters, and the whole square. Are you getting? Yes? So this is a conversion from centimeters to meters. And when you will solve this, okay, you will get the answer for the positive charge, E due to the positive charge, will be equal to 4.13 into 10 to the power 6 Newton Coulomb inverse. And here the direction of the electric field due to this positive charge will be along a BP. So that's the direction due to the positive charge, and I can say the direction along BP. So that's the direction. Now same way I can calculate the electric field due to the negative charge. So here electric field due to the negative charge, 9 into 10 to the power 9 into again the magnitude 10 into 10 to the power minus 6 microcoulomb divided by the distance, that is from this negative charge up till this point P. So I can add this 15 centimeter, and in addition to that I can add more 0.25 centimeters to this. So 0.25 centimeters. So that will give me the overall distance. So here what I do is 15, okay, 15 plus 0.25, okay, into 10 to the power minus 2 into the square. All right, so that is what. Now here if you just solve this again, you will be getting electric field due to the negative Q will be equal to 3.86 into 10 to the power 6 Newton Coulomb inverse. So it's very easy, you just multiply and divide it, you will get it. And here the direction will be along, this is the negative charge, so it will point inward, so along the BP, PB, so this is PP. And here now it's easy, you just add this, because I'm interested in the net electric field. So to add, I can just say the net electric field will be equal to E due to the plus, and it will be due to the minus Q. Now here if you see the direction, one is along BP, the other one is along PB. So that means here if you just consider the directions over here, in that case it will be a negative because both are opposite. So in that case if you just solve this, 4.13, okay, minus 3.86 into 10 to the power 6, correct? So that will give me the answer to be of 2.7, okay, it will be 2.7 into 10 to the power 5 Newton Coulomb inverse. So that's the electric field you will be getting. And here the direction, that you will be getting, if you see the direction will be along BP, because the value of this magnitude over here due to positive charge is maximum. So the direction, the net, the net direction along BP. And it is also satisfying because from the negative to the positive, we have a dipole moment. If you know, this is the direction, of the dipole moment. Okay, here, this is the direction of the dipole moment from the negative charge to the positive charge. And when you calculate the strength of the electric field on the axial line of this dipole, the direction of the electric field is the same as a dipole moment, so which is along a BP. So that's the answer. So that's one way of solving this. Now the other way of solving this is directly using the relation which we have got from the derivation, saying that vector E is equal to twice the dipole moment, that is so twice the dipole moment divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into the r cube, and that's the p cap. So that's the relation, you can use it And this is a relation, wherein we consider a short dipole. That is, here we say that the A, 2A is very, very less than the R, then we get this relation, correct? So this is the condition for this relation. And here it's fine to use that relation because this is 0.25 centimeters. And if you see at distance what we are measuring is a 15 centimeters from this 0. If I just divide 15 by 0.25, okay, 15 by 2 point, that will give me a ratio of 60. So I can say this is a condition that it is obeying, okay, the R is very, very large compared to this distance of separation. So in that case, you can make a use of this relation, okay, and if you just substitute this, here the P, the dipole moment P is nothing but Q into the 2A, and the value of Q 10 raised to into 10 raised to minus 6 microcoulomb into this is a 2A, so that is this distance 0.5 centimeters, correct? So 5 mm, I can write it in terms of 5 into 10 raised to minus 3 meters, and that will give you the answer for your dipole moment. And here when you substitute back it over here, all right, and if you just consider the R in this case to be of 15, okay, let me write this. Here you have an electric field 9 into 10 to the power 9 into, okay, so here it will be twice the dipole moment. So dipole moment is 10 raised to, this is 10 raised to minus 5, and this will give me 10 into 10 raised to minus 6 is give me 10 raised to minus 5, and 5 into 10 raised to minus 8 divided by the R cube. Okay, R is what? The distance from center to the over here point P. So I can write this as a 15 centimeters into 10 raised to minus 2 conversion into a meters. And here again, this will give me answer close to, I'll say 2.6 into 10 to the power 5 Newton Coulomb inverse, which is almost close, okay, the answer that you will be getting, because we are neglecting, we are following this condition. So that's a two-way of getting the answer for this problem. Now here what you take home today from this session is that the magnitude of the dipole moment is equal to the product of the magnitude of the charge into the distance of separation between the two opposite charges. And here if you want to measure the magnitude of the electric field at a point on the dipole axis, you can make a use of this equation. And here if you just consider the dipole to be a shorter dipole, that is the distance of separation very, very less than the distance at which you are going to measure, then you can write the same expression to be as something like this. So here point to make a note is that the direction of the electric field over here is exactly in the same direction as that of the dipole moment. While in the case of, when you try to measure the strength of the electric field at a point on the equatorial line, you can make a use of this expression. And again, for a case of a shorter dipole, you can write that expression as well. So here point to make a note is that the direction of the electric field is exactly opposite to the direction of the dipole moment. So here the negative sign tells you about the direction, the exactly opposite direction. So here we also looked what happens when you place an electric dipole in a uniform external electric field. So basically over here torque will come into the picture, and if you want to calculate the torque acting on the electric dipole, we have a relation this vector P cross vector E, and which I can write it as the magnitude of P and E into sine theta. So where is theta is the angle between the dipole moment and the electric field. So these are the few points that you need to remember from this session. Thank you very much.